Hey guys, Oscar with the Apartment Survivalist. Sorry I haven't been able to put out a video in a couple of weeks, but I've had both of my kids with colds alternating back and forth. So I haven't been able to put one out, but today I'm actually working on my garden, putting together the self-watering containers that I spoke about in an earlier video, and I figured I'd shoot a quick film on how I put it together. So basically, what you're going to need to be able to put these things together are 2 buckets. A lot of people use the 5-gallon ones. I prefer 2 gallons, just for space efficiency. The 2-gallon ones don't take up as much space when you lay them out next to each other, and at the same time they don't require as much soil as the 5-gallon ones. The 5-gallon buckets require obviously 5 gallons of soil, and there's very little that you're going to be growing in a container that's going to require that much. So I prefer 2. If you only have 5, or you can only get your hands on 5, by all means, go ahead and use those. Also, you're going to be needing a hole saw. You could do without it. You could probably get the holes drilled without it, but if you're going to be putting together a lot of these, I highly recommend one of these. It's just less of a mission. You're going to need a 1/4-inch drill, a container that's going to fit in between both buckets on the inside, and some zip ties. Yes, I know these are in color, but they were on sale, and frankly, nobody's going to see these anyways when you put it together. So that's basically it. Once you actually have all the components together, what you're going to need to do is just stick the cup inside the bucket itself, put it in so you can tell more or less where it's going to sit when you actually put these together, and just mark off some holes. When you actually put it up to the sun, you're going to see where this actually sits. Mark off some holes just below where the inside bucket fits. That's going to be your drain holes when you fill this up with water. Once you have the holes drilled out, go ahead and put that bucket aside. You're done with that one. Most of the work is going to be done with the other bucket. Okay? Simply turn this one around, drill a 3-inch hole in the center, and a 1-inch hole off to the side. I'm going to go ahead and do that now, and I'll show you real quick. Now, to be clear, the reason that I did a 3-inch hole is just because that's exactly the size that I need for these little containers that I have here, these little yoga containers. If you have something smaller, then by all means make the hole according to the size of the container itself. But that's what that hole's going to be for, just smaller than the container itself. The 1-inch hole is going to be for the 1/2-inch PVC pipe that you're going to be putting through here. That's going to be where you're going to be watering through to be able to get to the bottom container. Now, once you have those holes done, basically just riddle the back of this container with 1/4-inch holes so that it's able to breathe. So just go ahead and drill out a whole bunch of holes in the back, and I'll do that now real quick and show you now. Once you have those holes drilled out, to attach this little container to it, basically just put it where you're going to have it set, and just mark 4 marks on the 4 different sides. 1 on the bucket, 1 on the container, 1 on the bucket, 1 on the container. Okay, the reason that you're going to be doing that is so that you can drill the holes into the container to be able to zip tie it to the bucket itself. Once you have those holes drilled out, you're going to be riddling the container itself also with 1/4-inch holes all around it. This is going to be your wicking cup, and I'll explain how the whole system works once I put it together, but let me just go ahead and attach this to the bucket now. Okay, so once you're done, basically you're going to be left with this. A container full of holes and 4 holes on top, which is where you're going to zip tie it to the container itself. Once you have it tied up, just go ahead and cut the excess. stick it inside the container, and there you have it. Now I'm just going to go ahead and add the pipe in there. Finally, you're going to want to get a piece of 2-inch PVC. I cut mine to about 18 inches in length, which is just long enough to be longer than the two containers stacked on top of each other. When you cut it, you can cut it either at an angle, if you happen to have a miter saw or something, or if not, just cut it the length and just drill a lot of holes at the tip of it. Okay, this is going to be the watering pipe, where basically you're going to be watering the bottom container. Once you have this drilled out, you're going to stick it into the inch hole that you put into the top container, slide it all the way down, and when you do that, this is going to be where you're going to be watering from. What happens is, this top container, you're going to have it full of soil. Also, you're going to have this bottom cup full of soil. When you water at the bottom, the water is going to wick up from the cup itself into the container up on top, and you're basically going to be watering the container from the bottom up. It's just better for the plants that way. You don't disturb the soil, it's not going to compact it, and the soil maintains the amount of moisture that it's going to need. At the same time, you're not going to need to be watering it every day. You can water it once a week, or depending on how hot the weather is. I'm probably going to have to water it every 3 days. But it still beats once a day. You know what I mean? So all in all, that's it. I'm going to finish putting this together, and then I'll put a picture up at the end of the video showing how this looks. Hey guys, so those are the containers that I'm going to be using for my balcony garden. I plan to be using about 6 to 9 of them, depending on how I can organize them up here. Alongside with, I'm playing around with the idea of putting together a little hydroponic system also in the back. So we'll see how that works out, and maybe that'll be my next video. But in the meantime, you can see various articles of mine on the apartmentsurvivalist.com. And if you like this video, you can subscribe to me on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. And until next time, be safe guys.